Hello, it's Hande Begüm Bumin Doyduk. Welcome to Negotiation Techniques course, Part 4. In this part, we will be analyzing the different steps of negotiations. The process of negotiation starts with the preparation stage, then goes on with discussion, the clarification of the goals, then negotiation bargaining stage, and following it comes the agreement and the implementation of a course of action. The different steps of the process has different aims. In the preparation stage, the aim is to identify the potential value, begin to understand the interests of both sides, developing fact-based analysis. In the discussion information exchange part, there is the discovering and creating of value step, assessing the interests, and building understanding and trust between the parties. In the bargaining stage, negotiation stage, the aim is to create and distribute value, addressing the interests, and making and managing concessions. At the conclusion stage, at the agreement stage, our aim is to capture value, confirm interests, confirm that the interests have been met for both sides, and in the execution implementation stage, our aim is to expand value, address changing interests, and strengthen the relationships. In the first stage, in the preparation stage, we have, it's the first stage of the negotiations. And in this stage, we decide when and where a meeting will take place to discuss the problem and who will attend to the meeting. We are setting a limited time scale so that the negotiation will finalize in a certain period of time. Learn all relevant facts of the situation and clarify our position. Understand preparation before discussing the disagreement will help to avoid further conflict and unnecessary wasting time during the meeting happens. The preparation is the first stage of any negotiation, although people often don't give it the time it requires. They often charge into the information exchange stage or even directly to the negotiating win-win situations or bargaining stage. Preparation starts with determining if it's a potential collaborative situation so that you can select the better strategy. Next, you spend time researching information, analyzing data, and leverage and identifying interest and positions. Finally, you have to consider the relationship you want to build. There are 5 key elements of negotiation preparation. The first one is the initial points to be considered, like should I be negotiating? What do I need to know beforehand? And organizing these information. Then the research covers for players and the stakeholders of this negotiation. The fact-based standards and benchmarks should be analyzed. The analysis includes reorganizing the data, anticipating what will happen, assessing the strengths and risks, identification of your and the other parts' interest, positions, goals, most desired outcomes, and least acceptable agreements, best alternatives to a negotiated agreement, BATNA, as we will see in the upcoming part, and concession. And the 5th element in the negotiation preparation is knowing the relationship that you want to build, plan to build trust, prepare for emotional relationships, plan for your emotional reactions, your relationships that will come after, and developing probes to discover don't knows and to test assumptions. The next stage is the discussion, the information exchange stage. The information exchange stage occurs when you begin to engage the other side, share information, and explore options that address interests. What you each need as opposed to positions, what you each ask for later in the bargaining stage. To give an example about a position or interest, we can give the example of an employee's position as he or she asked to be assigned to a project, and the employee's interest in this position is to get promoted. In order to get promoted, he or she needs to be assigned to an important project. And he or she needs to succeed in that assigned project, which has high visibility. It is critical here to focus on building rapport and trust without neither party feeling comfortable sharing interests. One way to build the relationship is to do your social homework, in which by finding out and showing interest of the other party's business culture, personality, outside interests and values. Especially this is of key importance when you are making negotiations in cross-cultural settings, that you have literal information about the country culture, so you might be offending the other side of the negotiation and so on. So it's important to understand each side and to make information exchange and discussion so that you are understanding the other part in detail. Each side should explain the situation from their perspective, their understanding of the situation, and there should be taking notes during the stage to record all the points put forward in case there might be a need for further clarification. Listening carefully, active listening is very important at this stage, and each side should have equal opportunity to present their case. There are 4 critical assessments in the exchange discussion stage. Trustworthiness, are the other part honest and dependable? Competency, are they credible and able? Likability, can we work together well? And alignment of interest, are my interests aligned with theirs? So you need to be answering these questions at the discussion, at the information exchange stage. The tool in exchange stage and discussion stage is to build trust, and the negotiations probe. A definition of a probe is a technique employed to encourage the respondent to give a more detailed answer to a question and elaborate on the previous response. For example, it could be something like, would you like to say anything more? Why do you think that is the case? Why do you think it is fair? Or how did you come up to this solution? And so on. In this stage, also where there is this a go and no-go decision time, in your assessment in this stage of the negotiation process is, if it is negative, you make adjustments or implement your best alternative to a negotiated agreement, which is BATNA. If your assessment, however, is positive, then you move forward with trust developed. You explore for creative solutions that address interest and see the potential to create real value. And then you decide at this point, you might be thinking eagerly at this point to dive into the bargaining stage, but you should pause to create one critical tool that will guide and protect you from the stages, the negative outcomes at the stages that might come up. That is the development of joint agendas. Meaning clarifying your goals, interests, viewpoints of the sides, and listing the priorities of each side. Then comes the stage of negotiating towards a win-win outcome. At this stage, you are focusing on a win-win outcome, meaning that both sides of the negotiation are winning. Consider alternative strategies and compromises. Compromises are often positive alternatives which can often achieve greater benefit for all concerned compared to holding to the original position. Bargaining is where the give and take happens. If you think success means all take and no give, you won't capture any real value. You make and manage your concessions in bargaining. When you give and take that which satisfies both parties' interests, you will build a lasting relationship and a fruitful outcome. Bargaining is your face time with the other person, even when you are not face to face, even when you're having an online negotiation and so on. Like all interpersonal relations, emotions can help or hinder process. Specific negotiators' tools and behavior skills matter greatly at this stage. Fine-tuned communication skills are critical at this juncture as you explore options to create value and execute trades to capture value. You will be most successful when solutions satisfy everyone's needs, when it's a win-win outcome. Agreement. In this agreement stage, you consider both sides' viewpoints and interests. Keep an open mind in order to achieve an acceptable solution. Any agreement needs to be made perfectly clear so that both sides know what has been decided. So this is the point, the process where you reach an agreement. It's important to find out if the other side has capacity to follow through with the things they said they would do so. This is the time to put down in writing the common interest and produce a comprehensive summary of the agreement. Sometimes you have to consider strategies here to lock in a commitment. Be sure to agree on next steps as well in this stage, and never forget to thank the other party for their willingness to negotiate, to compromise, even when no agreement is reached. And the last part is the execution. It's the implementation of this agreement. This stage may also be viewed as the preparation for the next negotiation opportunity. You must ensure you follow through on compromises made in order to strengthen the relationship and to build trust. You will learn at the execution stage, implementation stage, more about the other side. This will lead to easier negotiations for the next time around. In the next chapter, we will be analyzing BATNA in detail. Thank you for your participation.